Hello. Okay. All right. Good morning, guys. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, so, uh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be doing a reading, but before we start, just to give people time to join us, I have a few things that I wanted to share. We are doing the Dear Emmy series with this. If you have something you want guidance on, a question, and this is not like for, you know, ClairTarot readings. This is just a question. This is a conversation starter. If you have something that you have been struggling with and you're wanting my opinion on it, hopefully to give you clarity, right? Go over to soulworksynergistics.com/dear-emmy, fill out that form and let me know. I'll be reading questions while I'm live and answering them. And it's my hope that maybe you don't write in, but someone has the same question as you and you get the guidance that you need. Another thing, if you would like to book a session with me, you want a reading, like a full on reading, we could definitely do that. We could definitely do that. Just go to soulworksynergistics.com/Emmy services. And that has the entire menu for my private services. One more thing. If you'd like to help build that sanctuary, that physical campus where we can come together in an eco-village setting and begin to learn to exist as a village, where we're all looking out for each other. We're learning how to co-create, coexist, be interdependent rather than codependent. Check that link out. It'll take you to our project for the Soul Sanctuary. Anything Emmy. If you would like to know my projects, how to reach me, what I'm about, go to soulworksynergistics.com. Everything is there. That is like the hub of all things Emmy. The hub of all things Emmy. All right, guys, let's go ahead and let's get started. So I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I was told is their effort backfired. And now this is the results. This is the results. Not my Filipino came out. This is the result. Let me update that. Okay. Someone thought they really thought something. Let me go ahead. Let me get some cards ready. Can y'all feel the salt already? Can you feel the salt oozing from my pores? Can you? Oh, Ocean Lover, that's an awesome question. Ocean Lover is asking, are the raffle tickets still available? Yes. Let me go ahead and hold on really quick, you guys. Let's add that over here. Okay. Let us show you guys this. The raffle tickets are absolutely still available. If you'd like your chance to win a 2-hour meditative experience with me, where a musical track will be custom created for your frequency. I'll be able to do every single last bit of energy work that your higher self wants. Literally no limits. I'll also be able to do all of the things that you need energetically. 2 hours with me, yo. I don't know if you want 2 hours with me, but 2 hours with me. And we could do whatever you want in that 2 hours, really. Really. So cards are almost ready. It's almost ready. Okay. So pull some from there. So I assume there's some intrigue going on, right? Some intrigue is going on because their effort backfired. What were they trying to do? when I hear things like that, I kind of get this sense of an attempt to manipulate, an attempt to control, to go ahead and kind of shift uh, shift that dynamic that you have with this person. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be something that is platonic. It could be something that's work related. Who knows? Who knows? Ooh, ocean lover. Ocean lover says, I want to get some to gift to others for their chance to win. You definitely can. Every entry is only $1. So you can definitely gift it. Absolutely. Oh, okay. Things are kind of popping off. Gosh. Why do things always have to pop? Why can't they just gently rolling boil? Why do they always have to pop? All right, let's get started. Containment. So, whatever this is, someone is trying to contain the situation. I wonder, it's almost like a low grade sense of someone messed up. And I don't know that that someone is you. Maybe, I don't know, but it doesn't feel like it's you. It feels like someone, meaning someone outside of you, messed up big time. Like a miscalculation. It feels like a miscalculation, like out of frustration. It feels like this is something that occurred not too long ago. They were very, very frustrated. Maybe they weren't making any progress in their attempt to connect, their attempt to um I don't really want to say control for some reason. So maybe it has less to do with um being maybe it has less to do with being a manipulative mofo, and more to do with insecurity. I don't know. Let's just keep going. So, summer. This is something that's going to continue to intensify all the way through to summer. This is they're trying so hard to contain it, but they can't. But they can't. They can't do it. So, uh maybe I should stop being so like but you can't. Um it really feels like this is something they're trying to get a hold of. And I don't know that they're able to. Whether it's you, whether it's them, this is something that is just it like feels like it's teetering, teetering on the brink of just complete loss of control. Um mhm, mhm. This is an upside down cycle. This is not the first time that they've felt this way or you have felt this way. This is not the first. Is it Mercury retrograde? Is that what it is? This is like full on Mercury retrograde energy, like the ex contacting you, people from your past reaching out. I don't know. I don't know. It's I have very specific thoughts on people and situations from the past. Personally, my personal stance, once I walk away from you, that means I'm done, right? When I make a conscious decision to walk away from you, that means I am done. There's no rehashing, there's no nothing. You've shown me everything that I've needed to see to get that rubber stamp and stamp you in the forehead as done. Yes. The one time that I rehashed something from the past because I thought that I was a problem. I felt like, oh, I have trust issues. I'm the problem. Yo, let me just tell you something. If I could just be your big sister or your mom right now, you pick, okay? You pick. I'm willing to be your big sister or your full on mama right now. Let me tell you something. I'm going to come a little bit closer. I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't remember. Oh, I remember. You don't have a trust issue. You don't have a trust issue. What you have is a long-term memory. Stop trying to convince yourself you're the problem because you don't trust people who did not earn your trust yet. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. You don't have a trust issue. You have a life that has shown you that people have the capacity to be hurtful and harmful unnecessarily. I had to learn this the hard way. I had to absolutely learn this the hard way with a soul lesson that lasted for 18 months. And then it culminated in my mother's passing. You know, when we are so starved for a depth of connection because we're deeply feeling people and we want to connect in a way that Hollywood tells us is ideal, right? We want so badly to have this best friend that we've known since we were 3 and we grew up together and had, sleepovers, and our families went camping together, and we want to have that relationship from when we were in high school, like we've loved each other since middle school and through college. And, we want to have this storyline that movies tell us is the ideal. And these ideals are the very things that make me feel like I hurt. Right? I deal myself these cards that make me feel like I hurt because of what I dealt myself. So this whole lesson began when, for the first time ever, I chose to rehash something with someone, right? This is a person that I walked away from. There was no issue when I walked away. My soul told me to walk away. My soul said, girlfriend, deactivate all the social media. Deactivate the social media. And so I told this person, because we had become somewhat close. I told them I'm going to be taking a break from social media. I'm going to be completely silent for maybe like a week or two, maybe a month. I don't know, because sometimes as empaths, that's what we need to do. Just kind of sit quietly. And right as I said that, they freaked out. They absolutely freaked out. And that freak out caused me to freak out. And suddenly they were blocked. And I was like, I'm good. I'm good. I'm so good. Like, I'm good. And I walked away, and I know they were devastated because I walked away because they saw me as a mother figure. Right. And quite a few months go by, all these things happen. And I somehow convince myself the problem is me. I have a trust issue. I have an issue, and the problem is me. And if I just allow myself to trust people, they'll show me how amazing they are and how wrong I am to be who I am. And so for the first time ever, I went back. I went back to someone. I went back to someone. The gravity of what that did. That individual was the start of a massive cluster absolute fuck. I'm not even joking. That was the start of a massive clusterfuck. That was the individual that sought someone out to try and do witchcraft on me to actually kill me on my birthday. I'm telling y'all, y'all should be scared of Pisces. Do you think Scorpio got something on Pisces? When a Pisces goes wicked, I mean, the limits, there are none. There are none. This person was a Piscean. I say was because they're dead to me for real. I don't know you. I buried you years ago. Yeah. Okay. In order for a Piscean to learn to the degree that I needed to learn that I do not have a trust issue, it took 2 Pisceans. 2 of them. Because as if the first wasn't enough, I convinced myself. Well, this is crazy. She was just crazy. And I just wasn't listening. She's the exception. Yeah, no, I totally convinced myself some idiotic stuff, right? And then so I quickly befriended another Piscean. I was like, oh, the Pisces side. Let's try a Pisces moon. Let's try a Pisces moon. Hey, baby boo, toxic is toxic is toxic, regardless of the sign and the placement of that sign. Toxic is toxic is toxic. And when you don't allow yourself to learn the lesson the first time, it circles back around. And as it circles back around, it recruits new players. Same fucking game, just new players. Mm-hmm. The problem, not me. The problem was my belief that I was the problem. The problem was me expecting my heart and my integrity to come from people who are emotionally, spiritually bankrupt. Mm-hmm. You hanging out with emotionally, spiritually bankrupt people? Because, I mean, if you are, what are you doing? Are you looking for punishment? Are you looking for the proof to show yourself that you're the problem? Because, I mean, if you're looking for the problem, that's all you'll find is the problem. Just like if you're looking for the solution, for the change, for the growth, that's what you'll find. That's what you'll find. So what are you looking for? More upside down cycles? Because I promise you, you're a very good seeker. Whatever you seek, you will find. That's a guarantee. That is a guarantee. Whatever you seek is what you will find. Whatever you are busy hyper fixated on because it hurts you, because this, because that, all the different reasons that we can justify our hyper fixation, you'll find it. You will find it. For me, I finally entered into a place where the only thing I really seek is just internal peace. And whatever price you want me to pay that will keep me in my peace, it's worth it to me. It is worth it to me. That's an investment in myself. That is a deposit in my spiritual bank account. That investment that I put in solidifying my perception of me. I don't have trust issues. I have what's called a memory. I don't need to know what you're plotting. I probably already do know, but I don't need to know what you're plotting. I just need to know that my heart, my soul, something inside of me is telling me you are not safe for me. That is not me being mean. That is not me saying mean things about you. That is me being real, being raw, and trusting myself, respecting my spiritual intelligence. When was the last time you respected your spiritual intelligence? When was the last time? The last time I showed some spiritual intelligence is when I let someone walk away. Was not going to be trying to have conversations to convince you to stay. Baby boo, you make it clear to me you don't want to be around. Have a good life. Have a good life. My soul tells me goodbye. Goodbye to you. Goodbye to all the potentiality that my heart was craving from you. And hello to the reality that your absence frees my space for the proper people who are aligned with my needs, my reality, my potentiality. Allow them to come in because those are the people who are worthy of us. Not the people that we volunteer because we want to make projects out of them. We want to heal them. We want to be their savior. Baby boo, if you cannot save yourself from your own internal circumstance, there is no way you will ever convince me that you could successfully, truly, genuinely save someone else from theirs. There's no way. There's just no way. Now, I do have this perception that although I don't have the answers for other people, unless I've lived through it, how could I ever really speak on it? You know, I can hypothesize. I can make these educated guess and whatever. But do I really know? No. I can read books, but do I really know? No. So then why would I need to be present? Well, because sometimes when I assist, when I support someone else in their process, I'm learning maybe a few things that I can implement for me in my process. And that's a beautiful exchange. That's a mutually beneficial exchange. This is something that grows both people, where it's just your presence. You're not required to put on your cape and your mask. You know what I mean? You're just choosing to be present. You know, the gift of you being there, that they know they're not alone, that there is someone witnessing what they are going through. And I mean, it then leads me to the question, do you know what you're saying? Are you witnessing something that's growing both of you? Or are you witnessing the repeating cycles that's literally going to implode? That is going to implode before it explodes all over you. See, this takes me back to a memory. I was like, I want to say I was in elementary school. We're still pretty young, you know. So my brother, that is the one that's born right before me, we played together a lot when we were kids. And he's a couple of years older than me. And I have this very distinct memory. We had like a brick of firecrackers, a whole brick. And it was left over from, I don't remember, some holiday or something. So we also had dogs. Growing up, I've always had a dog. And the dogs, they go number 2 in the backyard. So one day my brother calls me to the backyard and he's like, check this out. And I knew he was playing with firecrackers. And I was just like, you're stupid. You're going to blow your fingers up, And he's like, no, he's not going to. So I'm like, okay, whatever. And he tells me he's going to show me a magic trick. So I'm down, I'm down to witness you doing magic. As a child, I was down to witness what he was getting himself into. And what he did was he found a dog pile and he put one firecracker in like a birthday cake and he lit it and we both took off running behind something, right? And then it was like, boom. And then he goes, look, it's gone. And I was like, oh, how did you do that? So we did that to quite a few, and we were, we kept running off. Whenever he would light it, we would run off. And then finally we got very bold. Well, he got bold and then he convinced me to be bold with him. He had me put on a Pendleton, our older siblings Pendleton, was very thick. And he was like, just stand right here, like to show how brave I am. He wanted me to stand a certain distance from yes, Charlie, from the shit rocket. And he put one in the pile and he lit it and he took off. And so I had to prove that I was strong so that he could witness me being strong and supporting him in this. And so it blew up. And I turned around and I wasn't hurt. There was no injuries. And I was like, wow, I'm badass. Like it disappeared. And I wasn't even hurt. And we did that a few times and it kept going closer and closer and closer to it. And then, it was fun because we were witnessing magical things happening. And then I pushed my hair aside and I was like, what's in my hair? And I took the jacket off and I looked and there was literally, I was covered in it. Is that what you're witnessing? Are you witnessing people putting firecrackers and lighting them in the pile of caca they created? And they're coercing you to be brave, to prove to them how brave you are, how much of a ride or die you are. I'm good. I'm good. I had caca all over my hair. And at that time, I had a ton of hair. And it was down to the back of my calves. Oh, yeah, no, I would hold the lighter for him too. I'm just saying, what are we agreeing to? What are we agreeing to witness people doing to themselves? Like, what is this? And we don't realize until the poop actually hits the fan or gets burst by the cracker, the firecracker. My mom didn't know. My parents were never home. They were always working. And so nobody knew what we were up to. Literally, nobody knew what we were up to. They never knew what we were up to. Why do you think I am the way I am? You can't tell me what to do. I didn't have anyone telling me what to do when I was little. You're not telling me now, baby boo. You not telling me now, baby boo. You're about to catch a hot firecracker. No, you're not going to catch anything. I don't throw things. Anyways, clearance in reverse. They're not going to be clear of this. They're not going to be clear of this. This is something that they have invested so much of their time and energy into. It's like a fixation with you. Charlie says, at what point is trying to trust someone else just self-abandonment with extra steps? Yes. At what point? At the first point. I have learned through life experience, I need to trust myself first and foremost before I could ever develop any type of trusting relationship with anyone else. If I cannot trust myself, you could never feel safe with me. I could never feel safe around you. If I cannot trust myself to understand the messages of my soul, I cannot feel safe with you. Ooh. Ocean Lover says, the depth of my loyalty is only for the truly worthy, and very few on this earth will ever make that list. Amen to that. I have love for everybody. I do. And it's not the frou-frou type of human love. It's a real type of love where I can hold you accountable for your bullshit. I can hold you accountable to your face, look you in the face and be like, you're fucking up. I could. I could also be the one when everyone else turns their back on you, be that one person who listens to what you have to say who supports you, who encourages you, who wants you to succeed. Above all things, I want you to succeed. I don't care if it benefits me. I just want to see you see your potential play out in front of you. And I'm learning not everyone is worthy of that. Everyone is worthy of a certain level of love, a certain level of respect, dignity, all of that stuff. That's a given for me. Everyone is deserving of that. You have to go out of your way to make me feel and behave as though you are not deserving of that. But loyalty, mm-mm. No, no, no. I have the type of loyalty where you don't have to ask me to be loyal. You just have to show me your heart. And I promise you, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it better than I take care of my own. That I would be more than willing to hurt for you, to bleed for you, to go to war on your behalf, not just beside you, but in your place. People like that carry a currency that's just, do you ever let something like that go? Even if I tried to explain to you the gravity of your error, I don't think you'd understand. I've had conversations with my husband lately that have been very intense. We're not arguing, but the topic is intense. And we're not in contention with each other. We're both in agreement. And the topic, the very similar opinion that we have, is that whenever we, either myself or he or us as a couple, walk away from someone, walk away from something, it's literally no loss to us. Why? We always make sure you benefit from that interaction more than we ever would. And that's without you having to earn it. That's without you having to ask for it, beg for it, uh, any of that. Any of that at all. And the conversation started because I was just having a lot of, not really insecurity, but just a lot of questioning myself. Like, rehashing these things of, am I wrong to just walk away? Am I not seeing something that I'm doing? Am I allowing the loss of something important? Will I regret this? It was just very clear, like, regret it, why? You're always the one giving. You're always the one doing for other people and taking care of other people, whether it's their feelings or their finances or whatever it is. When you love someone, you give so much, more than what they actually deserve. So how could that ever be a loss for you? If that's how you love people, how could that ever be a loss for you? And the more I accept it and embrace it, the more peace enters into my life. Why? Well, because I'm not invested in you staying. I'm invested in the moment that we spend together and nothing beyond that. And if we have moments together for years on end, beautiful. I love it. And if we only have one moment together, beautiful. I love that too. And that's that. How much more peaceful can you get? How much more peaceful? I feel these aspects of my life realigning because why? Because I'm no longer clinging with bloody fingernails to whatever wall I can scrape my fingers on to keep me from being dragged. Dragged where? Forward into my greatness. Sounds crazy, right? It sounds crazy. We try and hold on to the people who our life is begging us to let go of. We try and hold on to them because the pain we feel with them is a known thing. It's a known environment. We know we cannot count on them. We know that they will disappoint us. They will hurt us. They will probably lie to us and betray us. And that's comfortable because at least we know what to expect rather than entering into an unknown. Despite the fact that the unknown will probably have things that are much healthier, more loving, more healing than what we're experiencing in the known. It's crazy how the human brain works. It's crazy how we allow ourselves to convince ourselves that staying in a place that's comfortable, despite the pain, that's safer. Mm. It's crazy. It's crazy because why? Because it's evidence that we alone control what we experience. And you can quote me on that. We alone control what we experience. What we choose, when we choose other people's comfort, preference above our need, well, we alone choose what we experience. I've learned this over the course of my lifetime. It took me a long time to begin really being honest with myself about exactly what it is I'm doing to myself. I've shared with a few people here and there in that first 6 months of establishing this company. It's crazy. It was crazy. I was working so hard and money was a steady flow. And you never guessed that it was because, I mean, I never had any. Why? Because I gave it all away. I literally would only keep what was necessary for groceries and gas. Mind you, I was living in a parking lot. I was living in a parking lot and I was doing that. Earning money so that people wouldn't go homeless. I would pay mortgages. I would pay rent. I would pay credit card bills. I would pay electricity bills, water bills. I would purchase what the strangers' children's need for school programs, all sorts of different things. I would pay for all of that for so many people. I was such a giver that, you know, was known as a person to go to. It was the living ATM. I gave so much organic reach on social media, 500,000 souls, because I was doing nothing but giving. Notice how I don't identify as a victim. These were decisions that I made. I chose to give with zero regard for my own needs. And some people might be like, well, girl, RVs are super comfy. You know, they're like basically homes on wheels. Yeah, except mine was about 25 years old and it was leaking from bumper to bumper. And we kind of broke the water heater, so there's no hot water. And then we broke the toilet. So, you know, it was kind of like falling apart. There was no reason for me to live that way. I still look back and not a bad memory. It's actually one of my fondest memories. Being able to live in that space with my family and develop an even deeper, riper closeness. It was beautiful. Don't get me wrong. It was beautiful. Um, but sometimes I get it wrong and I forget how unfair I was in giving everything away. Why? Oh, yeah, the generator didn't work. Oh, we had no fridge. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we had a cooler. And so we would have to go grocery shopping before every meal. Good thing that we were stuck in the parking lot because all we had to do was get out of the RV, go to the store. Like the grocery store was our fridge. Fresh. It was fresh. Yeah. You know, and it's this thing of really aligning myself with the reality of what was going on. These people knew, they knew where I lived. And so many of them presented this need, and it wasn't a need, it was a preference. Because sometimes being at the bottom of the barrel, maybe it was circumstantial at first, but when you stay there with zero effort to even just stand up, that's a choice. That's a preference. That's a preference, you know? And I'm not mad about anything that happened before. It's such a beautiful learning experience. There was no other way for me to learn this. There was no other way for me to free myself from my own preconceived notions that a good person has to be a martyr. Because we don't. You know what martyrs are? This is what I learned for myself. Martyrs are emotional manipulations. They're manipulations. When we allow ourselves to martyr ourselves, we're doing it to create, to force an impression upon other people. It was my own insecurity. This is not about blame. This is about owning why my life went the way that it did. My insecurities caused me to feel as though I had to overcompensate in order to be allowed to be present in other people's lives. Now, a lot of people have this assumption that I'm highly social. And, you know, if we were neighbors, it would be amazing. We'd be playing all day. Honey, if we were neighbors, you would never see me. I am very introverted in real life. So if we were neighbors, you probably wouldn't even know that I live next door. And because of that, I felt like I had to go above and beyond as my pre-apology for whatever I might possibly do to offend you, to upset you, to, you know, whatever it is. Whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. I had to prepay for my space in your life because I didn't value myself. And it's not that I thought poorly to that degree. It's that I didn't understand. Even to this day, I still don't fully understand the full gravity of how people receive me. But I do understand I don't need to prepay for my space in your life. If me as I am with nothing to offer is not enough, find someone who is then. Find someone who is. If I'm too much for you, find someone who's less. I'm too spiritual. Find someone who's not spiritual. Oh, I'm too intense. Find someone who's basic, boring. Go ahead. It's a no loss to me. Find someone else. Find what you're looking for because I promise you, I'm not going to play any more roles for anyone. For anyone. You'll come across people who will try and convince you you have to play roles. You have to play roles, and they'll do all of these situations, create situations that make you feel as though you have to play this role. You have to do this and you have to do that because yo, because of the wonderful things he does. Are you off to see the wizard? It's just no. I this is not some type of theatrical performance. Their effort backfired, and now this is the result. This is the result. When my oldest, when he was a toddler, one of my aunties, grandma auntie, uh, she was just so smitten with him because he's ridiculously smart, and she loves when kids are really, really precocious. And so she's asking him all of these questions like, oh, what's this? Oh, read that. What's blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And, so she's a nurse practitioner of the highest kind. And she found out that his grasp of human anatomy and physiology was college level. He's 3 years old. And so she was tickled by it. She started asking him questions. And he says to her, because he's just looking at her, and she's like, why is he not answering? And then finally he looks at her and he says in a very just nonchalant way, I'm not an animal. I don't perform. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Auntie. And she's like, what did he say? I was like, he said he's not an animal and he doesn't perform. I don't think he's going to answer you. And she looked at me like I was going to have to force him. And I was like, no, he's done. He's done with all the questions. I mean, when was the last time you just was like, I'm not an animal. I don't perform. Like, you're asking me to do all these things. Like, I'm not going to perform. And yes, I have all boys. I have all boys, and they're all ridiculously precocious. Like all of them. All of them. Yeah. My children are my greatest teacher. They really, truly are. Things like that where I've been programmed, I would have had to answer. I would have had to keep answering. And, I did talk to him about being aware of the way others would receive his response, that it was not malicious, like intentionally malicious, be received as, some type of disrespectful by elders. And Frey also, no, I'm sorry, not I'm sorry, I saw a text message. Yeah, no, it's too much. It's too much because I totally conditioned to be that way. I have to do too much to prove that I'm, bare minimum. Just no. Ocean Lover says, is that the one you told us on a live stream said you talk? Oh, no, that's my littlest. That's my littlest. He says, you talking to me? You talking to me? Yeah. That's the one who he's different. That's a different one. They all have their own personalities. They're hilarious. I was telling my husband the other day, if they weren't our kids, I would still freaking hang out with them. They're hilarious. They're hilarious. So we watched Batman the other night, Batman Vengeance or whatever, with Robert Pattinson. He's just so emo, isn't he? I love it. I love it. Emo guys. He's emo. And so it's like a 3 or 4 hour movie. I fell asleep like 4 times. Husband fell asleep quite a few times. It's not that it was a bad movie, but it was just like, it's kind of dragged on. And then so one of my other kids, my mini me, he's like, do they really need that whole time? It took him that long to solve one case. And myself and my oldest, we were like, whoa, it was complex. We were totally sticking up for Robert Pattinson. And he's like, no, no, no. It took him so long. And he was like basically saying that Robert Pattinson as Batman is so mediocre. It's just like, and he's like, mommy, you fell asleep. Daddy fell asleep too. That was so much longer than it needed to be. I know, right? It's okay. I tried so hard. And the emo-ness, the vampire emo-ness, it worked. It worked. It was a good performance. It didn't need to be that long ago. I don't know, son. I don't know. I don't know. They're very honest. They're very like upfront with their opinions. They're very upfront with their opinions. Not trying to be rude or disrespectful though. Like they try and be mindful, but they're very upfront. They're not. Yeah. Yeah. Like last Halloween, I said, because we don't really celebrate holidays. And one of my kids, that's like his favorite Halloween is like the ish, you know what I mean? Like skulls, dark things. And I was like, is it okay with you if we don't do all the decorations and stuff this year because there's just so much going on with work? And he said, yeah, that's fine. And then the night of Halloween, he's kind of moping around and I'm like, are you okay? What's wrong? And he just looks at me. He goes, nothing. And I was like, is it because we didn't get decorations and stuff? And he says, well, I'm just really disappointed in you. I'm like, what? I'm really disappointed in you. Cancel the live because I was going to do expedites. Cancel the live stream. Baby, get your clothes on. We go into the store. And it just so happened that because usually everything is pretty much on clearance the night of. There was nothing in the stores. We went to several stores. And then, we put a lot of effort into trying to find pumpkins and stuff. And then when we got home, he pulls me aside and he says, I like the effort, but I'm still disappointed. I was like, shit. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. I should have just got all this stuff because I know it's important to you. And most people would think like, oh my God, you're teaching them to be ridiculous in their expectations. And, that's disrespectful. And they need to just be grateful that you're a hardworking mom. No, check yourself. I said it. Check yourself. They are only children for a short period. I see them as little autonomous human beings. I don't want them to be the type of adult that will be easily told what to do and will listen. Because you tell them to do something, they're going to think about it first. Like, what are the consequences if I don't agree? Well, why wouldn't you agree? Because I don't want to. That's conversations we have. Well, but you don't want to help me? And they're like, well, if you need help, I guess I'll help you, but I don't want to. Well, okay, thank you for telling me how you feel. Can you grab that anyways? Hey, we a family. We help each other. And that whole thing of like, children need to be children. And you can't force them to be adult. No. And then you wonder why they don't act like an adult and they act like a selfish child the whole time, their entire life. No. If you're going to choose to be born from me and my body, you are choosing to enter into a family unit where everyone is powerful, everyone matters, everyone has a voice, will use that voice, and everyone who's there will also remember The two individuals that are your equal but donated their genetic material to create your vessel, you will still see us as the authority. We'll listen to you. Yes, we will. We'll listen to you. We'll consider all these things. But at the end of the day, we're the parents. See that beautiful middle ground? Where they are learning to be little adults, but they're also understanding there's no rush for you to be an actual full-grown adult. And I think if we allow ourselves to go through this process within ourselves, little Emmy with adult Emmy, and the two of them working together synergistically. Excuse me. You can accomplish tremendous things that way. Tremendous, tremendous things. You have to be willing to put the effort. You have to be willing to allow people to be released from your space. You just have to. You have to. You have to. You have to lose your fear of being alone. Why are you afraid of being alone when you exist in a room full of people and you still feel alone? Why? Why bother? Why allow yourself to continue with that head game? There are literally billions upon billions of people who are more than willing to do that to you. Why be one of them? You are the one person who actually understands what you're going through. You are the one person who is always present through everything you've lived through. Like for those of you who weren't present during the time where it was like just a full-on 18 months of absolute fuckery. I mean, you hear it and you're like, ooh, that didn't sound good. Like, dang, that sounded like it was a rough patch. For those of you who were present and witnessed it, it was fucked. It was. It was. And people don't realize how intense that experience was. Because a lot of my intensity is kept beneath the surface. And it's not me pretending like it was fine. It wasn't fine. It was not fine. The things that were attempted were not fine. It was not okay. But here's the thing. They wanted to break me instead. All they did was broke me open. They gave me something to push against. They gave me this opportunity to reignite my own sacred flame. It's powerful. Not them, not what they did. The end result is powerful. You're witnessing it day in and day out. All of these people who refuse to give me permission to simply exist. All of these people who so publicly claimed to be so devoted, so much love for me. Where are all those bitches now? And yes, I absolutely called them bitches. When you act like a rabid dog in heat, that's what you are. No, I don't have to feel bad about my opinion. No. They properly earned the perception I now have of them. They taught me this. This was not an assumption I had. This is what my soul was telling me and telling me and telling me, and brought other people to tell me and tell me and tell me. And I kept lying to myself. No, they would never. They would never. But they're so sweet. They're so sweet. They would never do that. They would never hurt anyone. I didn't realize I was only saying half the sentence. Now, based on what I observed, my opinion is they would never hurt anyone they are actively benefiting from. But the moment they're no longer benefiting, I mean, watch the fuck out. Watch out. Because that's going to be something that's just not fun for you to experience. That's going to be a very messy, very destructive thing. But as long as they're benefiting from you, I mean, they would never harm someone they are actively benefiting from. Hi, Kathy. Right? And that totally ties into where I was and what lesson I was learning about myself and my journey. This lesson of I know the type of people who do this thing. And those are the type of people who were drawn to me. And so I always felt like I had to go above and beyond and give to avoid that. Instead of realizing I just need to avoid them. There's nothing wrong with giving. There's nothing wrong with being a giver. After all the things I've experienced, I'm still a giver. I'm still a lover. I'm still someone who chooses peace. You know, it's that lyric from that song. You did not break me. I'm still fighting for peace. Because I've got thick skin and an elastic heart. You know, I mean, sometimes we have to see that these type of people are brought to us to break us open, to facilitate the breaking open and allowing more of your shine to come out. I don't think I would be the person that I am right now had I not experienced all the things that I've experienced through my lifetime. And just because you experience bad things, the malicious, malignant intent, doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't have to harden you. That's a choice being made. You can choose to remain the person you are, or you can choose to remain the lover and the giver while changing, while shifting within your space. For me personally, I have no expectations of who I'm becoming. I'm simply in a process of being fully present and really just giving myself the time and the space to expand and contract as is appropriate for my soul. Whatever's appropriate for me is what I will live through. If it's a pleasurable thing, beautiful. If it's not pleasurable, okay, there's beauty in that too. There can definitely be beauty in it as well. Just depends on how I'm going to choose to allow myself to experience it, right? How am I going to choose to allow myself to view what is going on? If you allow yourself to view things for what they are, which is an opportunity to learn, how could that be negative? I mean, and just because something is uncomfortable doesn't mean it's negative. Just because something is negative doesn't mean, or not negative, doesn't mean it's comfortable. We can't live in absolutes. We can't. So absolutes involve alcohol, right? Like high proof alcohol. You realize things can't grow in alcohol? They can't. They can't grow in alcohol. So when you live in absolutes, you are soaking in spiritual alcohol. What does that mean? It means you're not going to grow. Let me not mince words. We're running out of time. It means growth will not occur for you. If you're going to live as though you know everything because you know everything, right? Which is fine. You can choose to believe you know everything, but how do you learn when you already know? Most people that I know, when they think they know something, boy, oh boy, you are going to go through hell convincing them of something else. You're going to go through hell. That's why I say, oh, by the way, I'm having a workshop. I'm having a workshop. It is a morphogenetic fundamentals workshop. And I'm going to be teaching the basics of energy work for the self. And people, when I have teaching events, people often ask me, and it's very understandable, do I need to have experience? Is it okay if I have no experience? And it's like, my answer is always, it's even better when you have zero experience with energy work. But I haven't read anything. Perfect. That's perfect. Because as my students would probably let you know, everything that I teach basically contradicts everything that's known about spirituality. It contradicts it. Yeah, it contradicts it. And so what ends up happening is when you don't have that like advanced knowledge, that experience, you're able to more readily just allow yourself to be present and consider the information. It doesn't have to go through this process of first fighting with the information and belief structures that already exist. Yeah. Yeah. I remember my ex sister-in-law's new husband. I got no issue with him, but I met him and he didn't really know anything about what I do for work. He didn't know anything about what I do for work, right? Neither did my ex sister-in-law. She didn't really know. And so they decided to meet with us and hang out for a little bit. And I don't really talk about what I do for work. I do believe in God. I do have memories of Yeshua. So it's not like I contradict that, but a lot of the traditional, more conservative belief structures say that I'm evil, which is fine. I know my integrity. So we're having this conversation, me, my ex sister-in-law, and her new husband. And they're talking about some donut shop, I think in like Oregon or Washington or something like that, some popular donut shop. And they had went into the donut shop and he knew the place was wicked, he says, because there was this like circle with a star in it. And he's like, no, just no. The blood of Christ on me. I'm just like, what? Like what? What happened? Did they do something to you? Because I wasn't understanding. I wasn't understanding. Like, how did he go from donut shop to like invoking the blood of Christ? It's just like, did I zone out? How did we go from donut shop to that? What the hell just happened? And then obviously my ex sister-in-law starts laughing because she knows my brain doesn't always follow. And she's like, oh, he saw like the devil worshiper sign. And I was like, how do you know it's a devil worshiper sign? Like, you dabble? I was serious in my question, like, oh, do you dabble? That's what I said to him. Do you dabble? And he's like, dabble? Yeah, like in the occult. You like dabble a little bit in that? And he goes, no. He's religious man. And I'm like, well, how do you know it's a devil worshiper sign? Because he was told. There's a difference in the pentagram with the tip pointing up and pointing down. Those are two completely separate things. Just like the swastika, as we know it today in modern societies, that was originally a symbol of peace. It was taken, I believe, from Buddhism. Yeah. People don't want to believe that. And he don't want to he didn't want to hear nothing about it. He's like, "Oh, no, no, no. The Lord told me to stay." And I was like, "Oh." And like that in my seat, like, "Oh, this is going to be fun." Do you know what I do for work? Do you know what I do? And so my sister-in-law looks at me and she's like, okay, I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone. But you were not going to convince him of anything, anything at all. You were not going to convince him of anything at all. There was no conversation that was going to be had. Why? Because he already knew and his soul is saved. Saved from what? Bigotry? Thinly veiled hatred towards your neighbor? Isn't that the antithesis of what Jesus was teaching? Was Jesus not with the lepers and the prostitutes, the dregs of society, the outcasts, those who were thrown away, those who were vilified, excommunicated, those who were abused by the Pharisees? Was that not his people? Know what you're thinking. Have some idea of what you're thinking. Are they really your thoughts? Or have you just taken in someone else's truth and clung to it because you didn't know any better? I'm not here to promote or tear down any type of symbol. I'm here to exist as a living testament to truth. And what is the truth? That we have the right as sovereigns to choose our path. And that we alone are responsible for the path we take and what happens to us while we travel that path. I'm not here to bash any type of religion, whether it is a traditional belief structure or something else. Like, just you do you. You do you. You know, people who are thinking, well, Emmy, you seem pretty irritated with the spiritual stuff. Yeah, I'm irritated with the spiritual bullshit. But I'm not telling you not to believe that. I'm telling you my personal stance. Like, I'm tired of the lies. You are responsible for your journey. And you have to do your part because someone is putting effort into controlling you, into controlling the way you see the world, the way you feel, the way you process everything. Things get ugly when you let people have that type of control. I remember one of the last things that I said to one of the people who was just so hell-bent on trying to destroy me because I'm evil. Excuse me. And this is where the term demon whore came from. Well, if I'm so evil and such a demon, why did you have no issue with me until you couldn't benefit off me anymore? That's total demon whore behavior. You just whore your brain out to whatever, as long as you can benefit from it, as long as you see that there's some sort of benefit that comes from that. So really, am I the issue? Even if I was demonic, would I be the issue? Or would the issue be in your lack of integrity? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not actually demonic. I could be a little bit wicked in my vindictiveness, but I don't actually act upon it. So I don't know that it's like demonic. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I have thoughts Not very often. It takes a lot of drama and trauma to get me into those thought cycles. But sometimes I have these thoughts of, you're like a fucking walking yeast infection. Your sour ass yeasty behavior. Like, ew. Yeah. That's a pretty wicked thing to say, right? Calling someone a yeast infection. I mean, if you act yeasty, what else can I call you? And people be like, oh my God, that's so immature. You're calling people names. Would you rather I resort to violence? Would you rather that I act upon my aggressive thoughts? Because I don't act upon those thoughts. I think them and then I laugh. And I'm like, bitch, you're too much. Don't be giving people yeast infections. Because I'm like, I'm manifest that shit. I'm gonna manifest you having yeast infection, you fucking bitch. And then I'm like, that's gross though. You. I don't even want to go near your shit. You're like, you, demon horita, whatever. Anyways, that's how I process my life. Don't judge. Don't judge. I'm just saying that's how I process my life. It's a little bit wicked. It's just a hint of it, like a little sprinkle, right? Just toss it a little bit in the wicked basket, little toss. and then it's done. And then it's done. You just let that dry off and it's done. Okay, concealment. I'm telling you guys, they cannot hide this. They're trying to contain it, but they can't hide it anymore. And it's only a matter of time before it overflows. They keep stoking the fire, stoking the fire. I promise you. I promise you. They are just like totally waiting and hoping for some sort of reactivity. Not today, Demon Horita. Not today, Demon Horita. I'm just saying. Their passion is upside down. They're trying so hard. I swear to God. They keep lighting their own fires and then wonder why they burn. They keep lighting all of these flames and stoking it. They have that little like you gotta squish, 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 and it blows the air. That's what they're doing. What is that? What is that tool called? A squisher? Is that a squisher? A blower? What is that? Whatever it is, that's what they are. That's what they are. See them for what they are, someone who's going to fan your flames. And then they're pissed off that the phoenix rises. Here's a really important thing that I learned. There is no rule that exists as a prerequisite or some type of mandate, right? That the phoenix has to rise from their own ash. Baby boo, you can rise from the ash of that burned bridge. You know that, right? Right? You know that, right? A phoenix rising from the ashes of the bridges that were burned. Whew. Oh, they're called a stoker. Stoker face. Stoker face. Stoker face. Stoker face. See, they have a stoker face. These are people who just spew all of this stale ass air. That's fine. That's fine. Can't read my, no, you can't read my stoker face. Stoker face. Pop, poker face, poker face. Poker face, poker face. I'm just saying. Balance. Let's reestablish that balance within ourselves. Hold on. Hold on. I gotta rehash something that a message I was sent this morning. I'm not gonna talk about it on the live stream, but I just wanted the essence of it in my mind. I want the essence of it in my mind. Hold on. Mhm. Can't read my new he got rid of my where is it? The allocation. A redistribution. Okay. Anyway, that's hilarious. I can't read it to you though, it's private. Death in reverse. This is gonna go on for quite some time. I'm telling you, they're not gonna be able to let you go. You know, I don't know that they're able to approach you, but they're never gonna stop thinking about you. They miscalculated their bullshit. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's this thing that happens, right? When you let a Piscean in, sprinkling their fucking fairy dust everywhere, you're never going to get that out. When you let them into your head, you're never going to get all of that Piscean fairy dust out. You're just not. You're going to walk around with glitter everywhere. Yes. I remember one year because at the time I was buying nothing but children's clothes because that's what I fit, right? So I bought, I thought they were the cutest stretchy pants from the children's section. And they were like this heather gray background with like pink leopard spots. And the leopard spots were bordered with gold glitter, like the fine type glitter. And it was this thing of everywhere I would go, I would literally leave gold glitter everywhere. If I sit down, gold glitter outlines my ass. I'm just saying, you know exactly where I sat because that's where all the glitter is. And I remember my husband saying, like, what the fuck? Can you stop wearing those pants? Glitter is everywhere. To which I responded, keep talking like that, and you'll have glitter all over your face. And yeah, I did say that to him. And he laughed. And I was like, I like these pants. They were cute. They were cute. But glitter literally would be everywhere. You're not getting that out. I had to throw those pants away. I had to throw them away because then after a certain point, I had like glitter all over my body. I had to throw them away. They got all over my clothes, everywhere, literally everywhere. Whatever clothes I wear, it had gold glitter. So I had to throw them away. And that's kind of like a Piscean. Those are Piscean pants. Wherever the Piscean walks through your mind, there's just glitter everywhere. Glitter. You know what I'm saying? Glitter. They're just going to go through all the seasons. They're going to go through all the seasons and you're going to be present for all of it. Maybe not like physically present. Maybe, I don't know. Oh my God. Charlie, you have to stop being so like outright with your truth. Charlie says glitter is the herpes of the craft world. Good God. Oh my God. Anytime my mom did not want you to do something, she would toss in the herpes word. She doesn't want you to hang out with someone. She'd be like, they probably have herpes. She doesn't want you to go eat out. She thinks you should stay home. The server might have herpes. She didn't want to use a public restroom. She'd be like, you're going to get herpes on your ass. that a Filipino thing or was it just my mother? Y'all, are there Filipinos up in here? Let me know. Is that a Filipino thing? Or was that just my mother? Because I kind of need to know at this point. Because literally everything was just herpes. Oh, you have herpes? And because she's a nurse, depending on what department the nurse works in, a large majority of them will always have no shortage of saline flush kits and alcohol pads, individually wrapped alcohol pads, right? Okay. There's no shortage of that. So this woman, everything. We go to a restaurant, she pulls out her alcohol pad all over the table. Has a herpes. Oh my God. I gotta stop. I gotta focus. Y'all, my mama was fun. Seriously. It's kind of sad that I couldn't fully enjoy her quirks because I was so busy trying to be so proper for much of my life. Oh my God, that would have been so fun if I had just like been able to accept her as she was earlier in life. I mean, I'm thankful, very, very thankful that we were able to have that at the end. She's crazy, yo. She's crazy. So I was taking care of her at the end, right? For the last like however many months, like 7-8 months of her life, I was taking care of her like full-time caregiver and working full-time. And she would ring her doorbell because I made the mistake of giving her a Bluetooth doorbell set. Like I gave her the remote and the doorbell ding thing was over where I was, so she wouldn't have to yell. So she dings her doorbell and I come running to the room. She looks at me. I'm like, "Do you need to be turned? What's up?" And she says, "Put on your gloves. You're going to have to dig." I was like, "What? What do you mean? What do I have to dig?" It's stuck. I was like, "Mom, that's hella gross. Are you talking about what I think you're talking about?" Universal D goes, "Oh, no, no, no." I was like, "Mom, why did you have to say it like that?" Now I'm grossed out. I'm grossed out. Put 2 clubs. Oh, shit. I was like, "Oh, damn." She said, "Put 2." Damn. Okay, let me stop. And she was laughing after I was like, on the verge of tears. She starts laughing. She started laughing. I was like, "I'm watching you." So awakening, waking up to the reality of what it is you are dealing with. There is someone in your life or was in your life that has been creating all these plans. And these plans that are being created like strictly to force you into some type of excuse me, I guess interaction to force you into this or that. And it's just, I don't know. I don't like people like that. I don't like people who are aware of the type of heart that empaths have, and they still choose to take advantage of it. They still choose to be that way, to be manipulative, to be vindictive. Protection in reverse. You don't need protection from this. You don't need protection from this. You don't need protection from this person. What you need is to not be accessible. Whether it's energetic, whether it is physical, whether it is just social. And y'all, please don't give me any excuses as to why this and why that. You have to begin discerning who deserves that type of love, where you are willing to overlook everything. First, take stock of what are you overlooking? How often are you asked to overlook these things? How many times has it happened? I've found that when I allow people to get away with things, they usually will do something again. Given enough time, they usually will do something again. And, the thing is, it's okay. It's okay if they messed up the first time, because how are people really going to know you, right? Especially if you're introverted like me. How are people really going to know you? You don't really show them who you are. And so you go through this whole process of becoming more and more you. And they become more and more aware of the lines that should not be crossed, and, all of these different things. So that's the process. But here's the thing. If they're aware and they do it again, did they forget? Well, if it hurt you that much, how could they ever forget that? There's something about witnessing an empath hurting. It's this thing that just, I don't know, it can't be forgotten. It just can't. That's not something you're able to easily forget. So did they forget it? Or did they just not care? For me, for the most recent cycle of walking away, I realized that there were maybe 2 other instances where the individual showed me their real face, showed me the reality of who they actually are behind all the niceties and formalities and, all of that passive aggressive stuff, right? They had shown me. And it's this thing of, you knew how much you hurt my feelings those times. And then you do this. At some point, I need to get very, very honest with myself. I don't mean to you what you claim I mean to you. Me and my feelings are disposable. They're inconsequential. And if they don't go in alignment with what you are demanding, well, then fuck me, right? Well, if that's the case, close it all off. Close it all off. This is not even someone that you can be a friend with. And I think a lot of the that we go through is that we think, oh, I don't want to abandon them. I'm going to kind of back away and my distance and be there to help when they need it. Honey, they always need help, don't they? Those are the ones that always need help. They're the ones that always have a sub story. They always have something happening where someone's doing them so dirty and so bad, and they need you, and they don't have anyone. No, they don't have anyone because they're a shitty person. I'm not even sorry for speaking the truth right now. I'm just, yeah. Yeah. Shitty people do shitty things. You can't expect non-shitty behavior from shitty people. That's just not in alignment with the reality of who they are. So maybe your disappointment is in the fact that you're trying to heal someone that's upside down, and it's making you begin to exist in an upside down state as well. And what you need to do is just really be done with it. And if you're done with it, act like you're done with it. Act like you're done. Make decisions as though it's done. Because it needs to be. It needs to be done. You need to be done with those cycles. Someone attempted something, it backfired. And now, whatever it is you're struggling through, whatever the situation is, that's the end result of it. Is it acceptable to you? Is that result acceptable to you? Do you find yourself happy? Like for me, my current situation, the end result of someone walking away makes me so happy. I know it sounds mean, right? But it's not. It's not mean. I didn't will for that to happen. They made a decision. And in that decision that they made, it completely opened my eyes to the reality of, oh my God, that was a huge blockage. That was a huge, like, source of obligatory existence. So it's kind of like, thank you. Oh my God. Wow. I could have never walked away from that. Thank you. Whew, you literally set me free. You literally set me free. Do I need to be mad? I mean, I'm pretty sure they're still going to be catty and petty and look for other things that they could do. Go ahead. I'm just busy living my life in peace. Literally, that's where I'm at, literally. Just living my life in a state of peace, you know? Just peace. Diana says, yes, trash took itself out. I mean, I don't know that I would go so far as to call them trash, but it was definitely a stale situation. Very stale, like stale bread, and I can't even eat soup. You know what I mean? So it's like, do I have a purpose for the stale bread? I can't even eat that bread. Why would you hold on to something you can't be healthy with? That's like me holding on to a loaf of bread, knowing damn well I cannot eat that bread. But, I have to be a good person and hold on to it. Why? Why? And then comes a furthering of the analogy. Well, you could just keep it in the fridge if you don't want it to rot. But eventually, even in that colder environment, that food will go bad. And if it doesn't go bad, much like the McDonald's cheeseburger experiment, that thing never rotted. Their fries don't rot, their burgers don't rot. So then what is it? Are you allowing synthetic things to remain in your life just because it's packaged in an all natural way? I mean, you know? So for many of us, because of the convenience and because we think it's somehow superior, we purchase these pre-washed veggies, right? Like lettuce, salads, things like that. They're pre-washed. I remember this person who um, was an acquaintance years ago. They were into the natural lifestyle, right? They only eat healthy foods. Everything has to be organic. And they even were selling Melaleuca, which is some brand. I don't know. I guess it's like the natural cleaner of natural. I don't know. It's like a Mary Kay type thing. And he was trying to get me to do Melaleuca with him. And I was just like, yeah, I don't really like to sell things. It's just weird to me. And he used to get on my case because he wanted me to purchase all of this Melaleuca subscription from him, and I didn't want to. Right? I didn't feel like it was something I wanted to invest in. And he would eat all of those pre-washed salads and talk about organic this and organic that. And then finally one day, I just had enough of his shit. I finally had enough. And so I told him, yeah, you know that your salad is soaked in chlorine before it's packaged? He goes, they wouldn't do that. It's organic. I said, it was grown organically. That's what the package says. It's not organic anymore. And he literally was on the phone with those companies for like an hour or two trying to get the information. And when he got the information, he called me and I said, hello. And the first thing he says to me is, you fucking bitch. I'm like, what? You English prick. He's English. Yeah. he used to call me a rotten American. Yeah. Says the guy who fucking moved to America. I was so mad. He was so mad. Yeah, no, we used to totally talk shit to each other. Yeah. He's like, I'm a rotten American. Okay, Mr. Melaleuca man. Sucking on some chlorine. Yeah, I used to talk hella shit to him. Anyways, you guys, there's going to be people in your life who talk shit to you. There's going to be people in your life who listen to you talking shit. What's the whole point? To make sure you're not putting firecrackers and shit and watching it explode all over you, and to make sure you allow that shit to marinate in whatever way it needs to marinate so that it can be used as fertilizer for your growth. Oh, I love that. Kavi says, luck ain't luck enough for my life. No shade, but luck. I'll just manifest gently. I don't believe in luck. I don't believe in coincidence. I don't believe in any of that. I believe we create the circumstance that we live through. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. Everyone needs someone to look up to. Never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. All right, guys. I'm going to be doing a live stream, a fire ceremony, a dragon fire ceremony on the 30th for that solar eclipse. For that solar eclipse. It's ready. It is ready. If you would like to purchase an expedite, if you'd like to be a part of that event, you simply have to go to solarworksynergistics.com/solar eclipse dragon. All one word. Solar eclipse dragon. And you can find what I have offered there. Now, this is going to be a very, very potent type energy because that solar eclipse is already riding on that 5-5 portal energy. It's already opening up. It opens about 2 weeks before and remains open till about 2 weeks after. So, oh, thank you, Lindsay. Here we go. Yes, it's a dragon fire ceremony. If you guys want to join in, you can definitely go to that link. I have it up on the screen. If you would like to get a private session, want to know more about all things Emmy, go to soulworksynergistics.com. Go check it out and let me know. There's so many forms on there where you can reach out. Okay, I just got this email. This is your final reminder. Did you miss the big announcement? Look, I know you're busy. What the hell is this? What you want, fool? So I'll make this quick. Oh, gosh. There's never been a better time to join than now. I don't know. Join your process. Join yourself. Allow all your parts to come back to you and begin really, really just coming together. Let your truth ripen in the way it's meant to ripen. Beautifully. Gracefully. Don't let people's intentions, don't let their behaviors affect your growth. I'm at a point right now where just really not paying attention to what other people are doing. I'm too tired. You know, I am too tired to allow myself to enter into those cycles of games being played of I'm going to hurt your feelings because you've hurt mine. And then next will be your turn to hurt my feelings again. And then we're just going to keep doing this back and forth. Like, I don't care what you're doing. I don't care. If you don't add to my growth, if you don't add to my peace, if you don't protect my heart, I don't care. And because I don't care to that degree, nothing you do will have its full effect on me. I won't allow it. I won't allow it. Not even your opinion. Your opinion is for you. It's not for me. That's it. Enter into a space in your life where you're finally ready to just kind of focus on yourself, your growth, your healing, all of these really beautiful things that life is sending your way requires both of your hands to hold on to it. Both of your hands are required. You cannot hold one hand on the past and expect to enter into the future. And if you can't let go of the past and you're afraid to enter into the future, then really you're just stuck. You're not even fully present. You're present, but not fully present because you fractionated yourself. Part of you exists in the past and struggles with it. Part of you exists in the future and struggles with it. So what's left of you in the now? An empty shell, a holder. Your full self. Just got another notification. Redeem it now. Redeem yourself. You need redemption. You need redemption from your beliefs that you are less than what you actually are. You need to redeem yourself. So, redemption is defined as the act of saving or being saved from sin, error, or evil. The action of regaining or gaining possession of something in exchange for payment or clearing a debt. Your only debt is to yourself. The action of buying one's freedom, using your energy that you give away to other people. You know why you're so tired? You keep loaning your energy and your inspiration to people who never had the budget, willingness, or intention to pay you back. See, when you give things away as a gift, they're not obligated to give it back, right? To date, I know at least one person would beg to differ, but bitch, I say this with my integrity fully intact. To date, I have never asked for a gift given to someone else back. That's yours. That's yours. I gift that to you. If it's a gift, it's yours. I don't ask for it back. Ooh. I practice so hard telling myself, quote, worry about you, Marianne. Yet the more I say it, the more I get lost in my thoughts. So, Marianne, all day, all night, Marianne, sitting by the seashore, sifting sand. I think that's your song. You have to stop sifting the sand. You have to actually get up, get off the beach, or get in the water. You cannot remain at that shoreline. You tell yourself to worry about you, Marianne. See, my name is Marianne too. I no longer tell myself to worry about myself. What I say is we don't have anything to worry about. Everything will work out in the way it's meant to. I just have to keep focusing on receiving the messages and implementing the solutions that soul is giving me. Shift it. You don't need to worry about yourself anymore. There's nothing to worry about because your life is giving you the very situations that will help to grow you, expand you, that will bring more abundance into your life, only if you'll allow it. When you worry, even if it's just about yourself, you create instability within the way you see yourself. And when you're unstable, of course, knee-jerk reaction, build some walls, retaining walls to stabilize us. And what was once intended for your benefit, for your stability, sooner or later becomes the very prison that you will forever live in if you're not careful. Time to go, guys. Go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. If you're on Facebook, I don't want no damn thumb. Make it a heart. Make it a heart. Heart, 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 heart. As many hearts as your finger can take. And when you're done giving hearts, I also, I would like you to also share it out. I'd like you to share it out. And then I would like you to like tag people. I would also like to email it to people, to text it to people, whatever it is. We have to begin overriding this shadow ban that I'm still on. I'm done being shadow banned. Let's just blast it all out, especially on YouTube. Especially on YouTube. How the hell they going to restrict my views when my average watch time is like 25 minutes? Do y'all understand how high of a watch time that is? 25 fucking minutes. When all these other motherfuckers are like 2 minutes. Damn Don't make me get bruja with you, YouTube. I'm just saying. So yeah, share it out. I'm finally done messing around, and I would like the videos to be spread out again. I, I would like that now. You guys have an amazing rest of your day. I'm going to be live. I don't know if I'll be live tomorrow. I have to teach my classes and stuff. Subscribe, and you'll be able to get notifications. Theoretically, you'll get notifications. I know what you're doing, YouTube. You withhold the notifications until I'm done being live so that they don't see me live. That's okay. Y'all are my people. You come anyways. I'm sticking my tongue out at YouTube. They can't stop you from bonding with me. I'm just saying, they can't stop you. If you want to bond with me, I want to bond with you, and we can bond together. That's perfectly fine. Hi, Patience. All right, guys, I really got to go. I hope you guys have an amazing, amazing, amazing rest of your day. Check out all my stuff, all things Emmy. Please go to soulworksynergistics.com. You can book sessions. You can look at all my projects. You can look at all the fundraising stuff that I'm doing and all of these amazing, amazing things. You can also look at my my classes. So I have that workshop coming up. Morphogenetic fundamentals. That's going to be badass. The seating is limited there so that we keep the class small. Smaller classroom means more interaction between you and I. You'll be able to test out the techniques that I teach you while we're in the class. So you'll be able to get some pointers from me. Okay. All right, guys, I got to go. I love you, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye, everyone.